All right, everybody. Hey, it's Thursday. Um, we're recording this around 10 a.m. A lot of you are going to see this around 4 because I got to get ready to watch my Cowboys get their ass kicked tonight. So we're going to be dealing with a little bit of a sports nature today. So what we are going to talk about today, we're going to talk about our top 5 most freakish athletes ever. Now, this is not a GOAT debate. We don't do that here. What we are talking about are athletes that displayed athletic gifts that were beyond the skill set of their known sport. You know, those type of athletes that made you go, damn. So we're going to start off by me handing it over to my man Howard, and he's going to give us his number 5 from this list. My man Howard.
Okay.
Yeah.
I made this list. I titled it "Exceptional Beings."
I like that. I like that.
Yeah, I have now. I have 8 on this list in case you
I know.
some of mine. So,
and I got a feeling that's going to happen. I got a feeling that's going to happen. Yeah.
I got a feeling. Well, I didn't put them in any particular order.
Mm-hmm.
Let me make my number 5. Okay, my number 5 is Edwin Moses. Edwin Moses, former hurdler. Few of these people on my list are Olympians. I like using them. I mean, to me, a lot of times, especially track and field, because some of these people on my list, and probably on yours too, they participate in team sports,
right,
and it's kind of hard to measure that. But like usually on single player sports, especially those that are measured by clock times and distances and things like that, you can really see where somebody is like a different guy, a different person.
Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah,
this guy, Edwin Moses, he used to run the 400 high hurdles.
Mm-hmm.
And between 1976 and 1984, he went undefeated. And he had 107 consecutive final victories.
Right.
Now, that which is still the world record. He set the world record during that course of time, period, 4 times, as far as time is concerned.
Yeah.
But he was a wonder. When I was a kid, when I was young and used to watch the Olympics, he was like a pencil in dude. He was one of those guys
it was automatic.
It was just how much is he going to win by?
Right.
So my number 5, Edwin Moses.
You know what? I got a funny story about Edwin Moses, and this is just wild. It's funny you brought him up first. And so my mom one summer, if you see my mom, she looks younger than me. She's tall. I'm blessed to have her as my mom. So she keeps telling me, "Hey, son, I want you to meet a guy I'm dating. I want you to meet him. I think you'll like him." I'm like, okay. And she does this for like 2 weeks. And then she's like, "I want you to come meet Edwin. I want you to come meet him." I'm like, okay, fine. All right. So I go over to the house, go upstairs. They're chilling, they're watching TV. And she says, "Hey, son, here's Edwin. Edwin, this is my son." And I look at him and I pause and I said, "You look just like," and it freaking hit me. My mom.
This other guy.
Yeah. My mom is dating Edwin Moses, man. And it was just wild because, we're in Durham. So he was part of the Olympic committee. So then it was set up at Central because of, he was part of it. He was from Central at the time, but it hit me later. And I went to Central. But she was dating Edwin Moses. They dated for a while. And it was so funny when my uncle, her brother, found out. He was taking away more of the time from my mom than he was, because you're right. He was one of those guys, one of those athletes that you could pencil it in. And for me, I have a lot of respect for the man. He treated my mom with respect, but not only beyond that, just what you're talking about. You're right. He was just that good, and it made everybody else look like mortals. So I like that one. Now, my number 5, and he's number 5 on my list, especially because of the day with my Cowboys playing tonight. Larry Allen. 6'3", 6'4". This dude was 335 pounds with a 6'10" wingspan. And he did things you wouldn't expect an offensive lineman to be able to do. Dude bench press 700 pounds, squatted 900 pounds, and could dunk a basketball standing. I mean, this guy was just a freak athlete, and we all should have realized it. His rookie season, playing the Saints, Aikman throws an interception. Larry Allen walks the guy down 50 yards, rookie 50 yards for the tackle. That was just insane, and that was just the beginning of it. This guy, may he rest in peace, was one of those athletes that when you saw him, and people try to talk about offensive linemen not being skilled. I think those are the smartest players on the field because you have to listen, you got to be more disciplined than everybody, and you got to understand who you're going against and how you need to make sure you can position that person based on the offensive scheme. He was an incredible athlete. And for me, Larry Allen, rest in peace, one of the greatest Cowboys of all time, but also just an athlete that people really didn't understand how good he was and how special he was at the time. That's number 5 on my list, brother.
Yeah, well, I mean, he doesn't come to mind just off the top. But I will say everything you said. I don't refute anything you said. It's all true. And back, I'm a Washington fan, as you know. And back during that time, one of the most frustrating things about the Cowboys at that time, which is my most hated team on the planet, is that offensive line, which, Larry Allen was the best one on that line, but the whole line could have been all pro. I mean, the whole line was great. Yeah. Football, the thing about football is that, you can have really fast, talented people. You can scheme things up really well. But if you just can knock the guy in front of you over, you can win.
Yeah, you can.
You can win. It doesn't matter who's in it. And the Cowboys at that time, not only did they have a line that could push most defensive lines back into the linebackers, but they were blocking for a guy, Emmitt Smith, who could have done that himself.
Yeah.
And so it was a hard attack to stop, and I was very frustrated. So, yeah, I see that. Yeah, Larry Allen. And, they always used to talk about his little feats of strength during the broadcasts, and so, that's a good one.
Yeah. So who you got next, my man?
My next one is you might have this guy on your list. He's just he's universally known as a freak of nature. Texas guy, University of Texas guy, Earl Campbell.
Oh, okay. Woo. You scared me for a second. All right. Yeah. Now he's in my honorable mention, but okay. All right. Yeah, go ahead.
Earl Campbell. Now I when I was doing a little research for this pod, I said, well, the best thing that I could use were these quotes from his peers. So I got these quotes.
All right.
Pete Wysocki, Washington linebacker. Actually, he was known as a special team specialist, but Pete Wysocki was one of these crazy guys who they would just, isolate him on the kickoff so he could see who he would knock down. He said, every time you hit Earl Campbell, he lowers your IQ. That's what he said. Lester Hayes. Lester Hayes, known as, Lester the Molester. And people hated Lester Hayes. He was one of the hardest hitters in football in NFL history.
Yeah,
Earl Campbell, he said, was put on this earth to play football. So it's not, it's not the most colorful one, but coming from Lester Hayes, I respect it.
Yeah, especially if you, like you say, Lester Hayes and how he hit and how he played. So, that's a big one.
Yeah, and Cliff Harris from the Cowboys, he said that he was the hardest hitting running back he ever played against, and he didn't have the elusiveness of O.J. Simpson, but when he finished the game against Earl Campbell, you had to sit in the tub with Epsom salts for a long time. So, that was the guy. The thing I always remember about Earl, again, as a young kid watching the Houston Oilers play, is he was the first running back I saw on the pro level just level people, like come hit them straight on and literally run them over and not slow down. That was what blew me away. It wasn't like you get see some guys get stopped and they kind of shake the guy off.
Nah.
Earl ran him over.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
Awesome.
he really did. Yeah. It hurts seeing him in the position he is today, but
Yeah.
back then, you're right. He punished players. He laid the foundation for the Nigerian Nightmare.
Yeah.
Jerome
was up
Bettis.
on mention.
Marshawn Lynch.
Right.
He was the mold that they used to create those guys. So I'm with you on that. Now, when you were saying Texas, kind of scared me for a second. I thought you were getting ready to bring up my number 4. And this guy right here, when you just take a step back and look at what he did, it's just amazing. Nolan Ryan. I mean, people like to talk about durability and longevity, but it doesn't matter unless you are dominating. Mm-hmm. And this dude, he dominated. His whole game was about power. And it was like that during his entire career. His combination of his longevity, his velocity, his durability. I mean, look, this is the stat I brought up that kind of defines it. In 1989, at age 42, Ryan averaged 127 pitches per start and once threw 164 pitches just 5 days after throwing 150. Mm-hmm. And this guy kept his speed. I mean, 7 no-hitters. The guy was just dominant. I mean, and then they talked about the technology with today's speed guns. And now they're saying that if you look back in 1974 when Nolan Ryan threw that 101 mile per hour pitch, that with today's technology, it was more than likely around 108 with modern equipment. So just of what this guy was able to do, when you look at how pitchers, Tommy John, you look at the longevity of pitchers, and not only that, how efficient they are as they get older. Nobody comes close to what Nolan Ryan was able to do. That guy right there, he is an absolute freak of nature, an incredible athlete, and made everybody else look, like I said, mortal. So that's my guy right there.
Yeah, he had good location. We see some guys who can throw. Like, all right, my guy for my team, Max Scherzer, for example.
All right.
Fast, speed pitcher, a lot of strikeouts, much like Nolan Ryan. The difference is that, but besides durability, hardly as durable as Nolan Ryan. Mm-hmm. But Ryan he was a pitcher. Scherzer's a pitcher too. I'm not taking anything. He's a Hall of Famer. I'm not taking anything away from him. Yeah. But it wasn't just all about speed with that guy.
I think we are grateful that we had a chance to watch this guy play. So
my number 3 comes from Major League Baseball. Barry Bonds is my guy.
You're going to get people who are going to give you some grief about that one, man.
Hey, well, no, but see, let me just put some things out here, though.
No, I'm a Barry Bonds fan, but we got some people out there going to be like, him?
Barry
really?
Bonds. Yeah. Barry Bonds was an MVP 7 times.
7. Yes.
7.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's get that off the table. Yeah. He has 12 Silver Sluggers, and he made 14 All-Star games. Now, some of that is whatever. Mm-hmm. But this is why I put Barry on this list. Because say what you will about PEDs, steroids, whatever.
Right.
Barry Bonds is the example of what happens if you put PEDs in somebody who's a freak of nature in the first place. Because he could have been considered maybe, in the conversation for GOAT before the PED situation came around. He really started getting swole. Okay. You could put him in that conversation. Maybe not with the Babe and stuff, but you can put him in that conversation.
Right.
Or Hank Aaron. But that season, he broke the single season record. I'd never seen anything like that. I'd never seen, it seems like every time he saw a strike, it was a home run. But I do know that when I watched the San Francisco Giants that season, they were either intentionally walking Bonds who,
Yeah.
oh, by the way, has the record for the most intentional walks in history.
Mm-hmm.
But when somebody decided, I'm going to pitch to this guy, if they got it over the plate, it was going out.
Yeah, it was.
It was going out, and that was like wild.
Yeah.
So besides the fact that he was like he was an all-around player, great fielder, could run the bases, do all those things. That guy, Barry Bonds, my number 3. That's all I say.
Hey, man, I can't argue with that. Like you said, you have to be able to connect the bat with the ball. Being strong and all that, that's not going to make that happen. That's a skill set. So people could say everything they want to say about Barry. But it's like he also said, everybody else was doing it at the time. He's like, hey, so it's not a problem, you know? But he was already dominating. The guy is a baseball guy. And you got to give him his props. So I'm with you on that, man. Yep. I'm with you. And those who may want to debate that further in terms of his legitimacy to the sport, we can talk about that later. But on to my next one. I'm a basketball guy, North Carolina. But this guy, I wish would have came to North Carolina. And this was early, Al Wood, Phil Ford and all that. But this guy, Ralph Sampson, my gosh. People don't understand. He is the original unicorn. He 7'4", with skills of a guard and the speed of a gazelle, while being able to out bench press the majority of the guys on the football team at UVA. When you watch Ralph Sampson move on the court, you could easily forget that he is 7'4". And I just wish medical science for knee injuries were more advanced back then, as the world was robbed of what else he could have given us. You saw it in the All-Star game with him and Magic running the court. I mean, what he did with Ralph, what he did with the Keem. The guy was a freak of nature. And so when people are talking about Wemby, I'm like, have you people forgotten about Ralph? Wemby is nowhere near the physical specimen that Ralph Sampson is. Nowhere near the athletic ability. Ralph Sampson had a 38-inch vertical leap. Now, that may not seem like much, but the dude is 7'4". So when you add another 3 feet underneath him, he's standing looking over the rim. So the guy was, he was going to be it. But when you look at what he was able to do, the way he was able to run the court, his strength, all of that, I think people really need to take the time, go back and look at some of his highlights and realize, wow, this guy was insane. So, yeah, that's my guy right there. That's my guy on the list. So number 3.
No, Ralph is the truth. In fact, on my honorable mention list, it'll tie into Ralph Sampson, but I'm not going to get in front of it. I do have a little Ralph Sampson story, though.
What's that?
Two. Well, one, first time I saw him live was at the Capitol Classic, which used to be the McDonald's All-Star game at the Capitol Center in D.C., going up against Sam Bowie.
Okay.
And he was as advertised. He was I'd never seen anything like that before.
So
somebody
tall, man.
Handle the ball, be able to pull up and shoot, but also take off and block shot, all that stuff. He was as advertised.
Yeah.
But my sister also went to UVA while Ralph Sampson was at UVA, and I went down to visit her one time. I had a cousin who was going there too, so I went down to see both of them. Mm-hmm. And we went to a party. I was junior in high school, maybe a senior, I don't know. But I'm sure I'm 5'8", so I'm not the tallest guy in the world. So I was at this party, and I was dancing, and I bumped against something behind me. I turned around, and I was face to face with an ass, with a butt. I was like, what's going on? And I looked down because I thought somebody was standing on a chair or something. And it was Ralph Sampson, who had come to the party too. But I just had never been next to somebody that tall at that point in my life before. It was crazy. He was like another species.
Yeah, man. That is wild. That height is wild, man. Like you said, I'm 6'6".
Yeah.
So, and I'm standing next to him, and I'm like, yo, this
Yeah.
this is insane. So I feel you on
Yeah.
that, man. I
She's
feel
big.
that.
She's big.
So who's your number two, my brother?
Now, this is the one you were saying I might hear something for Barry Bonds. This is the one I'll probably hear something for reasons you'll figure out probably. But my number two is Steffi Graf. Steffi Graf was ranked. Well, first thing, I will say that Serena included. I know when I say that, I'm going to get it from the Serena heads. Serena is great. Okay. She is great. But at the time, I got to judge everybody by the competition they faced at the time.
Right.
At the time, Steffi Graf was waxing people. Okay. She lost some, sure. But she was ranked number one for a record 377 weeks. That's never happened before.
Right.
But this is the stat. This is it. She's the only player, male or female, who's won each major 4 times. She's got a quadruple career Grand Slam. Yeah. Now, we're watching the U.S. Open now. I mean, I don't care what tournament you're in. If you're in a tournament with that many people, with that many players of that class, it's like golf and tennis. If you consistently win in those draws, you're head and shoulders above everyone else. And Steffi was going in there with people who are Hall of Famers at the time, and she was winning consistently. So anyway, long story short, I'm a big Serena fan. Love the Williams sisters. I love all of them. But if I'm honest, the best female tennis player I've ever seen in my life is Steffi Graf, in my opinion.
She's in my top 4. I can't argue with you on that at all, because you're right. She dominated. I mean when she went up against Martina Navratilova when she was younger. And I was like, oh, damn, she's good. But also I like the way that she played. She had a very she was very competitive, but she was also gracious, and she was dominant. Yeah, I can't argue with that at all. You got to give her props, saying, like you said, 4 times each major.
Yeah.
You can't dismiss that.
I will say this about Steffi, because she might not be necessarily perfect for this list, because I am basing it basically on her record more than anything else. And that's one thing I'll say that's exceptional about her. There are some athletes who just dominate the field or whatever sport they're in because they seem to be better athletes.
Right.
They seem to be athletically gifted.
Right.
To do that.
Right.
I can't say that about Steffi. Steffi seemed to be a better tennis player than everyone else. Right. She just knew how to play tennis, but she was more skilled than everyone else. I can't say she was the fastest or had the most powerful this or that. She just played better than everyone else. So
yeah, she knew how to win. All right. So now my number 2, going to my number 2, Bo knows. I mean, Bo knows. Bo Jackson, man, what we were watching at the time was historic. I mean, the things that he was doing, and he made it look easy. I mean, when I said he made it look easy, he made it look easy. And he was excelling in baseball and football at Hall of Fame levels. You can't, man, that hip injury robbed us of so much. And the moments that he lived up to and just went beyond the hype. Monday Night Football against Seattle, Oakland, Brian Bosworth, his family there. Bo gets the ball on the left side, sweeps around, boom, knocks, just goes right over Bosworth. Bosworth's career was done after that. He's talking about doing something and messing somebody up. His career was done after that. And so, I mean, look, you can't talk about this list without having probably the man who probably inspired this list, as well as my number 1. But Bo, man, I mean, what can you say about him, Howard? I mean, really.
You took my number 1. Bo was my number 1. But I have some other ones though. But Bo was my number 1, and I agree with everything you said.
Yeah.
I remember that particular game, and I guess if you were watching a game, it's hard to forget that Seattle Oakland game or Los Angeles Raiders, I think they were at the time, game.
Yeah.
the thing that I remember, we all remember the Bosworth, leveling. But Bo made the whole Seattle defense look like they weren't on the same level.
like
You know what I
high
mean? That's what,
school, like high school
yeah,
guys.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
That's what blew me
yeah.
away. I mean, very seldom and it was on that fast. It was on that fast track. The AstroTurf. And I was like, I just didn't at that point. I didn't remember ever seeing a professional football player make other professional football players look like they had no business being out there with it. But
Yeah, yeah.
he was like, yeah, he was awesome. So yeah, Bo Jackson was. I hear you. He was my number one. So,
so now who's your new number one now?
Well, my new number one is, and like I said, I didn't rank these at first. So this is, I'll put her there because she's my home girl, and she was born on the same birthday I was, not the same birth dates because she's much younger than I am.
Mm.
Kathleen Genevieve Ledecky, also known as Katie Ledecky, is like, I was going to put Michael Phelps on there too, but he's from Baltimore, so I'm not going to take Michael Phelps. Katie Ledecky's here. Like I said, I looked at Olympians, and I looked at people who just consistently beat everybody else and set records while they were doing it. And there are a long list of those people and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm amazed by Katie Ledecky that she just continually jumps in the water and wins.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like crazy.
Right.
I
right.
mean,
you do get people like that are just so good, and you don't even realize how good they are and how they dominate, because you're like, okay, because if you're not paying attention to the sport, you're not going to get it. Right. But if you're paying attention and you realize, damn, they keep winning, nobody else is winning, and you do see other people being competitive.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Yeah.
And and like I said, I mean, I'm biased because, she's from Bethesda. She's from the area I grew up in. Mm-hmm. But she, when I was going to the University of Maryland, finishing up my undergrad, I had a few people from a swim team in a class of mine. I'll never forget that because they used to come. They worked a lot. Okay, and these were nobodies. Not nobodies. They were collegiate athletes, but they weren't anybody that became anything known in the sport. I mean, these weren't Olympians or anything like that. And when I see the amount of work that swimmers, all competitive swimmers put in.
Yeah, they do.
For somebody to just go in the water every time and win, they're special. They're just different. They're special, and so Michael Phelps falls into that. But anyway, my number one today will be Katie Ledecky.
Okay. All right. I'm with you on that. Well, before I get to my number one, I'm going to give one of my honorable mentions because it falls in the line with the Olympians, and that's Usain Bolt. I mean, what this guy has done is insane. And think about this. His 9.58 world record in the 100 meters has stood since 2009. 16 years, man. That's insane. The longest that particular record has been held during any period is like 3, maybe 4 years. So for him to be able to have it on lock like that is just insane. But going on to my number one is Wilt Chamberlain. Look, high school running track, dominating that, swimmer as well, big time volleyball player, could bench press like nobody else could. The guy was just an incredible athlete. You look at the things that he did on the court, people try to say, because of the era and all that. Look, the dude got a quintet double. Quintet double. Whatever. 5 categories, double figures. And, and not just big numbers, but the guy could do anything he wanted to do. And the biggest story that, well, not the biggest story, but one of the stories that really drives home this point is when Larry Brown was talking about Wilt Chamberlain playing pickup ball over at UCLA, going against Magic, some other guys, I think AC Green, Byron Scott, James Worthy, going against those guys, pickup. And he and Wilt Chamberlain was playing with the guys from the UCLA Bruins. And Magic went down one time, threw up a shot, and Wilt blocked it. And Magic said, goaltender, nah, that's game. Wilt said, what? And so he turned to Larry Brown. He said, Coach, was that a goaltender? He said, nah, Wilt, that was good. He said, all right, tell you what, nobody next game is scoring at this basket during the next game. And Larry Brown said Wilt blocked every single shot. And this was retired Wilt. This is, getting his number, his body count up, Wilt. So when you look at, just listen to those stories and you see, there's evidence, high jumping, all of that. The guy was an incredible athlete beyond the sport of basketball. And so that's why I got him at number one. I got a couple other honorable mentions as well. I got Julius Peppers, Jim Thorpe, Babe Ditcherson, of course, MJ and Braun, but you throw those names in there and everybody starts crying and just talking about nonsense. But Wilt, in terms of just the most freakish athlete, when you just look at all the stuff he did, man, Wilt is the man. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, 20,000. I'm surprised. I'm like, I don't see how he got off. Wasn't even on my list, but yeah. No, I see that. But no, I have a couple honorable mentions. One was one's an animal. One was Secretariat. Because Secretary is a bad.
Look, man, when you watch that Belmont Stakes, watching, it's like, nah, this it's like hyping up a player in NBA 2K on Madden, and you're like just blowing everybody away. So Secretariat.
No, he still holds the fastest time in all three Triple Crown races.
That's insane.
All three.
Still holds it to this day.
Still holds it, So I had to put Secretariat in there. And my honorable mention that kind of tied into your Ralph Sampson thing is, and this is DC thing. You may have heard of him though, being familiar. You know Earl Jones?
Earl Jones. I know of Earl Jones. Yeah, okay.
Earl Jones graduated high school around the same time I did. I think he graduated in 81, but we'll see. Went to Spingarn High School. He's from West Virginia originally. Moved to DC his senior year to Spingarn High School. 7 foot tall. Brother averaged 20 points and 15
I know
rebounds.
about Earl Jones. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, I know about him. Yeah.
There's a summer league down here called Jealous Summer League. And a lot of players around that time used to play in that summer league. I wrote down a few that I remember seeing it. Thurl Bailey, Johnny Dawkins, Sidney Lowe, Derek Wittenberg, Adrian Branch, Anthony Jones, those folks sit there. And Ralph Sampson fell through a few times. And Earl, I know everyone has a good day. Everyone can have a good day. But Earl tore Ralph up that day. And he did the same skill set. What happened to Earl Jones? Well, Earl had a few substance abuse issues. Dealt with but he got drafted. He got drafted by the Lakers. Actually, first in the end of the first round. 85, I want to think or something like that. But he fractured. He was one of these guys, like he fractured his right foot. And I don't, unfortunately, a lot of these people, who are tall don't have, they seem to, eventually injury gets them unless you're Will Chamberlain. The same thing happened to Ralph Sampson. Injury wise, not the foot, but anyway, Earl Jones was one of those guys. He's like a hometown hero, urban legend now. The guy who everyone said, man, you should, like, around that time in the early 80s when Sampson was. You guarantee if you're in a barbershop in DC and somebody's talking about Ralph Sampson, somebody in that barbershop's going to say, Man, Earl Jones is better than that dude.
Earl Jones ate him up, man, over the
Yeah,
league, man. Yeah,
man. You
yeah, I'm
didn't see him
with you.
against Earl. So
Yeah,
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 Earl Jones. So that's anyway.
yeah.
That's my list.
All right, cool. Well, look, man, I'm glad you broke it down, man. Hey, I like that list. I like that
Yeah.
list a lot, and I hope people were able to, get something from it. And if you haven't heard about some of the people that we talked about, take the time and look them up. Well, everybody, we got the WNBA playoffs kick off next week. We got college football starting up again this weekend. Well, it started last weekend. We had upsets. We had Alabama getting beat by Florida State. Everybody acting like Alabama's going crazy. It's just the first game of the year. I mean, Howard, this is the first weekend I can remember where you had top 10 out of the top 10 ranked teams. First weekend, you have 4 top 10 matchups. So if you're in the top 10, somebody was going to lose. You have 5 of those teams losing. It's the first week. I think everybody should take a step back and realize that we're just getting started and that NIL and the transfer portal has leveled the playing field. So everybody needs to stop panicking and just realize we're in for a roller coaster this year for college football. And I'm going to end it with this. I was right about Bill Belichick. Hiring him was going to be the worst mistake ever. And it is shown to be. Yes, it's the first game, but this is what I predicted would happen. Will they get better? I doubt it. Same problems. He needs to go. Real quick, what are your thoughts on me talking about Bill Belichick and what you think about that?
I didn't understand. I mean, I didn't understand the hire in the context of North Carolina and Mac Brown. I mean,
exactly.
I mean, why are you going to trade Mac Brown for Bill Belichick? It didn't make sense to me
At all.
And I'm not a big Mac Brown fan,
right?
But I don't see Bill Belichick as an upgrade from Mac Brown on the college level personally.
Not at all.
And they got Bill Belichick waited a couple years too late to make a move like this because he lost his glow.
Yeah.
Like if he had as soon as Brady went to Tampa, if Bill Belichick had like gone to college, he might have been coming off that, somebody might have been excited about it, but he kind of got it, for whatever reasons. I think he's a great coach. I'm not trying to say Bill Belichick. Tom Brady didn't make Bill Belichick, he definitely helped him, but Belichick was the guy who gave Brady the job. So he kind of knows what he's doing. So, but I just don't think that a recruit. I don't see.
Thing. If I'm a recruit, I'm not. The guy looked disinterested. He doesn't know how to talk and manage younger players. He's not that guy, and it showed in his final year at New England. Talked about it. I don't know why everybody thought that this would translate into him being able to dominate at Carolina. He didn't seem interested in the game. It's just a bad fit. People need to realize college football, professional football, different mindsets, different approaches. Nick Saban wasn't good in the pros, damn good in Alabama. But you got some guys, you got a couple that can do both. But overall, you can't, and you got to be able to recruit. And I just think everybody talked themselves into something, and this is one of the mistakes that my man Bubba Cunningham, AD for Carolina, this was an awful mistake, and it's going to cost. But anyway, we're going to see what happens over the weekend. Everybody, thank you for checking it out. Everybody, thank you for checking us out. This is Couch. This is our chat for today. That's my man Howard. Everybody, enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your football. Stay safe, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace.
Take care.